I'm going to fulfill another request today, and this one was for chicken wings, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to do it because I don't like hot wings. I don't like things spicy hot, but I do like to eat chicken wings. I love chicken wings. So I did some research, and I found some recipes for marinated chicken wings, and one in particular kind of amused me a little bit because you marinate the chicken wings overnight, turning them 2 or 3 times. Are you going to want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and again at 4 o'clock in the morning to turn chicken wings over? I thought that didn't make any sense. So anyways, what I'm going to do is this evening, I'm going to prepare the marinade. I'm going to section the chicken wings, but then I'm just going to put the stuff away in the refrigerator. And then the first thing tomorrow morning, I'll start the chicken wings marinating. I'll let them marinate all day. Every couple of hours, I'll turn them over to make sure they marinate flavor evenly. And then late in the afternoon, I'll start baking them. So let's make these marinated chicken wings. This marinade is very simple. In a medium saucepan, I'm going to put 1/2 cup, which is about 113 grams of butter, and then 1 cup of soy sauce, 237 milliliters. 1 cup, 200 grams of packed brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of water, it's about 177 milliliters, and then finally 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. I'm going to heat this on the stove and stir this till the butter is melted and all that sugar is dissolved. You need about 3 pounds of chicken wings, which is about 1.4 kilograms. I actually have a 4-pound pack. It's a value pack. I'm going to use about 3/4 of this pack, and then the rest I'll just save for later. So I'm going to section these. The wing tips I don't need. I'm going to put these in the freezer. When I get enough chicken trim, I'll make chicken stock. What I do need is the wingette, this piece here, and the drumette, that piece there. So this is going to take me a while to section all these. In the meanwhile, I'm watching my marinade. So there are my chicken wings. There are 11 in there, sectioned. There is my marinade. I'll cover both of these, refrigerate them overnight, and then tomorrow morning, I'll start marinating my chicken wings. So here we are, nearing the evening of the following day. This morning, when I got up, before I even made my coffee, I divided the chicken wings between 2 Ziploc bags, and then before I put the marinade in, I took about 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup of the marinade, reserved this. What I'm going to do with this is when I bake the chicken wings, about every 10 minutes or so, with a pastry brush, I'm going to baste those chicken wings. I think that will give it a nicer shine, almost like a varnished look. It'll improve the flavor, and it'll give it a nicer color. Now, in the meantime, I've been heating my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 190 degrees Celsius. The next thing I need to do is lay out my chicken wings on a baking sheet. So there's my oven saying that it's up to temperature. This is what I did with the chicken wings. I used 2 bags so that I could get everything about on 1 layer in each bag. These have been in the refrigerator all day, and then what I would do every hour or so, I would come in, turn them over like that, put them back in the refrigerator. That way it would flavor the chicken pieces evenly. Now what I want to do is transfer these to a baking sheet. So I'm going to put these on a baking sheet. I put rubber gloves on so that I could keep the fragrance of the marinade out of the skin on my fingers. Sometimes I have to wash an awful lot of dishes before I can get the fragrance off my hands. I'm trying to arrange the skin side up. Okay, I think I have these arranged about the way I want them. As I mentioned, my oven has come up to temperature. So I'm going to bake these for starting at about 50 minutes. I'm going to start checking them at 50 minutes. But every 10 minutes or so, I'm going to baste them with some of that additional marinade that I've set aside. The marinade that was in those bags, I can discard those because it had raw chicken in it. I'll start checking after about 50 minutes. If they're not quite done all the way through, I'll continue on. The original recipe said to go from 1¼ to 1½ hours, but one person commented on the recipe saying hers were done in 50 minutes. So there they are, out of the oven. Look how nice and golden those are. I use pretty near all of my basting liquid, so I would say half a cup or about 120 milliliters reserved would be fine. I'm going to let these sit for a little bit. I want them to be warm, but I don't want them too hot to eat with my fingers. So I'm going to set these aside and have a couple of other things to prepare in the meantime. How I would plate these. And by the way, these were done in 50 minutes. I checked them with a digital thermometer and they were well above 170 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 77 degrees Celsius. And then I bought some white corn on sale at the local grocery store. They were 3 for $1. And then I have some macaroni salad that I think would be good on this plate. I'll garnish that with a little bit of chopped fresh green onion. Marinated chicken wings. Let's see how these taste. All right, let's see what one of my wings, a little drumette here, tastes like. Boy, that's good. It's got a tiny bit of sweetness from the brown sugar and the marinade, but the marinade, what I like, it isn't overpowering. I was afraid from basting it I might overdo it, but you can taste the chicken fine. So, excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy my late dinner of marinated chicken wings. For a printable PDF copy of this recipe with step-by-step photographs, visit my website, mobilehomegourmet.com, and look on the home page or in the recipe archive.